We have exciting news about one of NASA's most anticipated missions, the Europa Clipper, which is now on its way to Jupiter's moon, Europa. This mission is packed with exciting scientific goals, a fascinating flight path, and high expectations for what it could reveal about one of the most interesting moons in the solar system. I'm Ben, this is Physics or Bust. Europa Clipper was launched by NASA aboard a Falcon Heavy rocket at Cape Canaveral on October 14, 2024. Now, in most cases, when SpaceX launches something with a Falcon Heavy rocket, they then allow the rocket to land itself back down to Earth and reuse the rocket. Now, the Europa Clipper is such a heavy spacecraft and needed such a high speed for its trajectory that the decision was made to not have the Falcon land back on the drone ship and instead use all of its fuel as part of the launch, instead of setting some aside for landing it back safely on the drone ship. But this mission is so important that NASA and SpaceX decided that it was worth the loss of the rocket in order to get the Europa Clipper on the right trajectory for this mission. The spacecraft is designed to study Jupiter's moon Europa, which is one of the prime candidates for harboring life in our solar system. But how is it going to get there, and what's it going to do once it does get there? Let's break it down. First up, let's talk about the flight path. The journey from Earth to Europa is not a direct one. The spacecraft is going to take a journey through the inner solar system, passing by Mars to do a gravity assist, and then it's going to come right past home again, doing a gravity assist by Earth, before it starts on its last leg of the journey, getting up to Jupiter. These flybys allow the spacecraft to gain speed and adjust its trajectory without using very much fuel, making the whole mission much more fuel efficient. Europa Clipper will perform these slingshot removers around Mars and then Earth in order to reach the Jupiter system by 2030. Once there, it'll begin conducting a series of close flybys of Europa, getting as close as 25 kilometers from the moon's icy surface. But out of all the moons and planets in our solar system, why Europa? Europa's entire surface is covered by an icy shell, but scientists believe that underneath that icy shell is a massive liquid ocean. And where there's water, there's potential for life. And what makes Europa even more fascinating is that because of Jupiter and its gravitational pull, there's some tidal forces that can cause heating that might make that ocean warm enough to sustain microbial life. And the big question is, could there be life down there? In the hidden ocean? The Europa Clipper is equipped with 9 different scientific devices in order to study the moon in huge detail. These instruments will help us determine the thickness of Europa's ice shell, the composition of the surface. It'll also be taking massive amounts of pictures all over the place, from infrared all the way up to ultraviolet, and we'll also be able to detect where there might be plumes of water shooting through the icy surface, that we can detect what the ocean composition is below. The Europa Clipper is also able to do mass spectrometry on particles that it runs into, and since it's planned to do very close flybys of Europa, close enough that it will probably be able to catch some particles from plumes if there are any, we'll be able to determine what the composition of the ocean is that's below the surface. This step is critical because we need to find the best spots to explore in future missions, like potential landers or probes that will be designed to actually drill down to the ocean beneath and get physical samples from the ocean. But this mission won't just focus on the potential for life. It'll also give us a whole ton of information on Europa's geology, magnetic field, and the interactions that it has with Jupiter and its radiation environment. Now, getting to this point was not easy. The Europa Clipper initially was delayed because of budget constraints, and then it also had a delay because of launch vehicle availability. It was supposed to be launched by NASA's SLS launch system, which isn't ready yet because of the delays that they've had. In fact, the SLS system has seen so many delays that it's not even ready for a test launch, much less a launch for an actual mission. And then it had additional delays because of Hurricanes Helene and Milton, which were bearing down on Florida right at the beginning of the 3-week launch window. Thankfully, everything worked out, and it's now up into space and on its way. So what are scientists hoping to find? Best case scenario, we'll find signs of organic molecules, or even of microbial life itself. But even if we don't, Europa Clipper is going to help us understand the conditions that are going on in Europa's subsurface ocean, as well as some of the chemistry that might be going on there. This data will be immeasurably important for future missions, especially if we get the Europa lander that was talked about in a 2016 paper. Scientists, engineers, and space enthusiasts all around the world are just waiting until we can get data back from Europa Clipper as it goes to Europa. Unfortunately, that's going to be not until the 2030s that we get any of that info back. This mission could redefine how we think about life beyond Earth, and gets us one step closer to that age-old question: are we alone in the universe? So to sum it up, Europa Clipper is on its way to one of the most intriguing places in the solar system, and with a detailed flight plan that takes it doing flybys of Mars, then Earth before getting up to Jupiter, it'll reach Europa in 2030, and once there, it'll start conducting flybys to study the ice shell, the subsurface ocean, and potential habitability. This mission is packed with exciting possibilities, and we'll be sure to keep you updated as things progress. If we do find signs of life, even microbial life, it could change how we continue our search for life in the universe. So what are your thoughts on the Europa Clipper's mission? Put those in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, I think you'd like this book. I have an affiliate link in the description below. I do get a small commission, but it doesn't cost you any extra. Hope you enjoyed that. For more updates on space exploration, science, and technology, make sure to like and subscribe, and remember, keep asking questions. I'll see you on the next video.